Kia ora, hello, no mai, and haere mai. Welcome back to EL Sports Stadium here, Rosedale Ballpark in Auckland, in good old New Zealand, Aotearoa. Great to have you along here watching this series, the 2020 Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series. On the home of sports, Sky Sport, this is the final day of action. This three-day showpiece of international level softball where the Sky Sports White Sox taking on New Zealand A and the Junior White Sox through a complete round robin. Well, it's day 3 of competition, game number 6, and it's time for the final match. Very important match between the White Sox and New Zealand A, because New Zealand A picked up the win yesterday. So it all comes down to the winner of this one, who wins the series. I'm Jason Gerbies, aka Chopper. I'm joined in the booth by my softball analyst, Jennifer Ferret-Beer.
Kia ora. Good to be here, Chopper.
Great to have you along. Jen, with that big win last night, 2-1 to the New Zealand A side, what does that mean for the competition?
Oh, hey, it's a really good sign for the future of New Zealand softball because we have two really capable teams. We can see the talent spread a bit throughout, but for the White Sox really today wanting to go and make their mark. So knowing that the White Sox are not going to lay down, they're going to come back. They're going to come back strong to make a point. So New Zealand A really has to bring their A game if they want to be in the game today.
Well, definitely a historic win by New Zealand A, 2-1, as we mentioned last night, and makes this game so important. The families are out, the picnics are ready, the weather is on. It's a beautiful day here at EL Sports Stadium as the umpires will bring out the coaches for their conference to start this one. Let's have a look at the umpiring crew first, Jen.
Right.
Mark Porteous, of course, behind the dish. He'll call the balls and strikes and take charge of this conference.
Yes, so Mark Porteous behind the plate. Over at first base, we have Andy McManus. Second base umpire, we have Robbie Sagrove. And on third, we have umpire John Hickman.
Well, from last night's match and the first 2 days of play, if we talk about New Zealand A first, what do we expect to see from them today, Jen?
New Zealand A, so with this team, we're going to see them mixing up the pitchers a little bit, which is going to be exciting.
You can see the lineup here. They'll be led off by Denver Short-Tate, the shortstop. They'll be hitting first, of course, New Zealand A. Taneo Omatangi, the second baseman, hits 2. Rebecca Bromhead will be hitting 3 and 4 is Hope Weber. Phil Marley-Waitford, designated player. Emma Francis will be catching today. Brooke Whiteman at right field. Nanaya Matangi at left. And Erin Blackmore rounds out their batting order, the centre fielder.
And again, like yesterday, we said that number 9 batter being a really crucial player. And we've seen that in a few games now, that number 9 actually being able to lead off and then that top of the order coming back up. And we've seen some runs score from that situation. So again, although they're down in the lineup, they're still key players.
Well, defensively, let's look at the White Sox team now, Jen. Krista Hawani, Michaela Lewin, and Narissa McDowell left to right in the outfield. Change at third base, a slight injury you may have heard from Lara Andrews, so Tanisha Hokama will get the start in the hot corner. Michaela Wedehiko and Midia Mamakia, 1-2 punch, shortstop and second base, continue. Palace Potter at first base. Kyla Bromhead gets the start behind the dish, and Amy Begg, who came in as a relief pitcher in the first matchup against the Junior White Sox, continues to throw here in this big matchup.
This is going to be a big test for Amy. So she's seen a lot of game time yesterday. She's, like you just said, in the game before, and she has to come out again. So she's been warmed up. She's had a little bit of a break. So we'll see how far she can go in this game today.
Well, going back to New Zealand A, looking at that lineup we saw before, their batting lineup, what do you think is going to be some of their strengths as you see Amy Begg warming up?
I think there's some big bats, and I think they're going to be able to put that ball in play today. I'd like to see them swing a bit freer to get some harder swings and put that ball into the outfield a bit more and running harder. So I really want to see some big hacks from them today.
Well, big hacks indeed. Should be exciting to see. Let's flip it over now. What do you think the Sky Sports White Sox team will be looking to capitalise on?
I think they just need to get more base runners on and move them around. It sounds like really simple in the game of softball, but again, like we said earlier, trying to move around thing with a round thing, it's a game of inches. So just trying to get more solid contact so we can get some more action in the game.
Just before we start here, Jennifer, we can sneak it in quickly. When your back is against the wall and the pressure's on, that's what's happening to the White Sox here in this match. What's some of the keys?
Oh, I think breathing. and just staying calm, knowing that you've been in this situation before. This is what you train for. This is what you prepare for. So it doesn't change. The pressure changes, but if you can shut that down, it's still simple.
Well, here we go. Time for Amy Bigg to breathe. It'll be Denver Short Eight to face. First pitch is right down the edge of Main Street for a strike. Another good pitch by Bigg. We saw in the first match she threw yesterday that it took her an innings to get her timing and everything right, that she really buckled down. We saw the same today. She came in relief from the junior White Sox. Little hard hit ball from Tate. This is going back. And a great dive as the wind knocks it down, but unable to gather it in is Michaela Lewin. And Short Tate will lead this puppy off with a double.
That's all you can ask for your leadoff batter is getting on base. And that was one heck of an effort from center fielder. That is a long way to travel. And you see that ball ended up catching the wind and looping even further into left field. That was one heck of a trek for her and just unable to hold onto it at the end.
Interesting play there too, defensively for the left fielder, Krista Hawani. Maybe lost it in the sun. She went back to the track, to the fence, as that ball fell in short.
And that's the thing, when that ball goes up in the air so high and that wind grabs it, you really have to keep eyes on it because you just don't know where it's going to go sometimes.
So Short Tate will be running at second base. They'll hand over to the left-hander in the line-up here, second basewoman, Tennille Omatangi.
Yep, Tennille we saw putting down some soft slaps yesterday, trying to mix it up, see what she was able to do. So it'll be a really interesting matchup to see what she can do against Amy.
A steady start here. 2 balls delivered to Omatangi. Time called here. Head coach Roman Gabriel sees something she wants adjusted. And I did notice in the last match, it started with Lara Andrews at second base calling location against the juniors. But guess what? The juniors in the latter part of the game did the same themselves. We see this next delivery here. Well, that was the delivery, of course, to Short Tate to get us rocking and rolling.
Yep, and that's a missed spot. So you see Tylo holding her glove up. And shame, because that was a really good effort from Lewin out in the outfield, but that's a missed spot, and that's what happens as a pitcher. You need to be on every pitch, and all it takes, you can throw every pitch beautifully, but one missed spot can make the difference in a ball game.
So I think you'll see that the catch will change the signals with Short Tate at second base, just to disguise the delivery that Bigg is going to throw.
And that's a key, because if the other team is tipping off what's happening, you're already pushing uphill, and it's already a battle. So anything you want to shut down right away. And it's really good that Roman has identified that, and they have made the change.
2-1 the count now. Just clips the outside edge. Levels the count 2-2.
So you'll see there, as much as the pitchers are identifying the zone early, so are the batters. The batters need to know as well how far that umpire is willing to give that pitcher.
Slow roller, tough play. Well done by Short Tate to pick up at least one out there.
That was really well executed. We said earlier it is super hard to crash in on that and make that play. So well done by Warehiko to be able to come in, crash, and make that play.
Of course, it's Short Tate that goes to 3 on the play. Warehiko, the shortstop for the White Sox teams, with that great defensive gem. Rebecca Bromhead now, captain of this New Zealand A side. Haven't had a chance to see what her hashtag was today on social media.
Well, I can tell you this is exactly where Bromhead wants to be. She has a runner on third base. They have an opportunity here to make a statement early, straight out of the gates. So this is the perfect situation. She lives for these moments.
Set and ready as the captain. Squeeze play. Too far, too quick to bunt though, and well read by the base runner at third, and Short Tate knowing not to go on that play.
Yeah, those are tough. The runner didn't break and go hard home, so it makes me wonder if
Maybe
there was
a safety bunt squeeze?
Was it a safety bunt, or was there a missed signal. Sometimes when you bunt to the pitcher, pitchers are known to struggle because they're throwing underarm, and now you have to throw overarm to first. So maybe that was the plan. Maybe bunt hard at Amy and see if she can make that throw to first base and see if she throws it away.
Strategy left, right and centre for Stan Doney, head coach of the New Zealand A side. He'll set up Hope Weber now, the third basewoman to bat. First pitch comes down Main Street. Outside edge that just, and I mean just, clips the plate.
Again, you can see that they've done their homework with the batters. They know what to throw, and really working that outside. Mark Porteous giving that outside, so those batters have to be prepared to go for that ball today.
Weber spoils that outside pitch and trying to make the adjustment, as you so rightly put there, Jen. High set by catcher Bromhead, and pitcher big obliges.
Now, Begg here, one of her top pitches is her rise ball. So rise ball and changeup are two pitches you will see a lot today. It looks like she's working a bit of a curve ball as well.
Oh, and little curve action. Takes 18 kilometres off the dial, does Begg, and picks up a big strikeout. And that'll strand the runner at third base for New Zealand A. The White Sox hold tight, get out of the jam here early in the top of the first innings to not allow a run to score. Let's have a look at the batting lineup for the Sky Sport White Sox team. Miriam Amakia back into the lineup and lead off the second baseman. Werehuku hits 2, Potter, Hokamu in the 3-4 hole. Bromhead, Hawani and McIntyre 5, 6 and 7. Narissa McDowell back to her usual 8 spot. That's where she's so deadly. Michaela Lewin rounds out the batting order for the White Sox team. Defensively for New Zealand A as they break out from their huddle. It'll be Nainaya Matangi, Erin Blackmore and Brooke Whiteman left to right in the outfield. Hope Weber will get the start in the hot corner of third base. Denver Shore Tate, Tinio Matangi up the middle, shortstop in second base. Rebecca Bromhead over at first. Emma Francis with the start behind the dish for a new pitcher that we haven't seen this week, Brittany Terry.
Yeah, Brittany Terry, again, really working. She's working up, a little bit of down, change up, some curveballs. So we'll see what she comes out with today. Again, they'll have a plan for these batters. So really good to see the matchup with Terry and Emma behind the plate, because they don't work together often. So you have Terry, who's from Christchurch, and Emma Francis, who's from Wellington. So it'll be interesting to see how they work together. They wouldn't have had a lot of time to get to know one another.
Well, they are working on their combinations and figuring out the best way to get around it, that's for sure. So it'll be Terry to Francis here, the battery for New Zealand A. And we saw how good Lauren Parker was last night. Simply outstanding. And I'll tell you what, they'll be looking to get some of that action out of Brittany Terry, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. And it'll be a really good challenge for her to face this team and to see what she can bring to the table.
First pitch from Terry's outside to the leadoff hitter here, Miriam Amakia. Markia, Wellington native, playing his softball out of the Otahuhu Club in Auckland these days.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity to catch up with Mariana earlier and ask what did she think about the coaching, because previously had played under Kevin Gettins, and so asking, hey, it's how's it going? What's with the change? What are the girls feeling? And she said the vibes are amazing. She said the coaches are so passionate, and it makes it really easy to fall in line with that and follow suit. And so the girls are really passionate and they're really keen. And she said there's this whole revival and excitement around the game.
Roman Gabriel, new head coach for the Sky Sports White Sox team. And he's been outstanding. And you're right, their first trip away as a team, as Markia was saying, was back in Sydney back in about February, early January this year. And his first course of action, or first plan, if you like, step one, was team culture. That's what it was all about. And he started to put some principles in place, some foundations in place for them to start achieving that. And I think that's what you're starting to hear from the players.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so cool to talk to some of my former teammates and some of the new girls, because that's going to be their first experience. And when a new coach comes in, they really want to sort of set the stage of, hey, this is what this is going to look like. And Roman has a really key opportunity here to build for the future, because we have some time now until our next the White Sox next event. So they have really good opportunity to get things right, take it slow.
Lead-off walk for the White Sox. Here on the bottom of the first innings, no outs, and it'll send up the shortstop, Michaela Wedehiko. Ken Tabrian, fine athlete, spent some time in the university scholarship program, and she'll get to reset on this one. Andy McManus, as you can see, relayed by John Hickman on screen there, has adjudicated that Markia is just a bit too quick leaving first base, leaving early and is out.
Yeah, that's something that Mariana seems to get called on a bit, but I think she's just so fast. I'd really like to see that again, because it is something that she gets pulled up on. But if you ever watch her on the bases, watch her leads. She's aggressive every time, whether she's stealing or not, and that's huge in this game. When you go to the next level, you need to make that other team off balance. They need to be concerned, is she going, is she not?
So 4 stolen bases from the White Sox against the juniors in the first match today, so they are definitely looking to be aggressive on the base path.
Absolutely, need to get those runners around.
Who called that would be the first delivery now, because the first one's a dead ball because of the infraction. So 1 strike. Running bunt attempt. Throws out the arm, does Francis, but it's in foul territory, so she'll come back and reset again, albeit in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, when that happens, when you see that ball bouncing around, you really want to make contact as soon as possible to make sure it stays foul, because we've seen in crazy situations where that ball will hit the dirt and it'll roll back into the field and everyone's sitting watching it foul, and then the runner's standing on first base and, oh no, it's fair. So really wanting to make sure you get it in foul territory as soon as possible.
Hard drive up the middle. Wedehiko got all of that one. A solid single to centre. Well, we saw their power punch 3 and 4 last night's match against the juniors was Potter and Hokamo. They've gone back to that powerful combination here for this match, and we'll see Palace Potter first.
Absolutely. This is a scary lineup as an opposing pitcher. When you look at this lineup and who you have, and after Palace, you have Tanisha and then Kyla. So you really need to go at every single batter. You cannot take it easy at any stage.
Crystal Whiney hitting in the 6th spot. And apologies for not knowing the exact number of test caps that she's got, but she's well past 50, heading towards 100.
She has been around for a while, quite young, made it into the squad, and was able to go over, I think it might have been early 2012 maybe.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to say her age because I'll leave that to you, but she's definitely been in the squad for a while, and deservedly so. Whiney is an elite athlete in New Zealand. Potter, though, with a 1-1 count here. Outside, off and running the White Sox, and they will swipe second bag, in this case, with ease.
And a nice steal there from Wedehiko, safety over the second.
And what really is an advantage for the White Sox here is their first 2 batters have a lot of speed. And so, unfortunately, Mariana getting out, but now Wedehiko able to get herself over to second base.
This one on the hands. Good location from Terry there. See the head first dive from Whittaker. She was there yesterday. Great jump.
Excellent. And I love to see the girls going in hard. And how you go in, it also depends on how that ball is being received by the player. But she saw she had plenty of room. You know, the throw wasn't quite to the bag, so she was able to slide in quite confidently.
What a perfect location on the inside edge. Away, away, away. And next the side of the strike zone. That's all she's got to do. It's a perfect strike out for Terry there on Potter.
Terry really helping herself out because that is a big out. So you have 2 outs. You can go at Tanisha Hokamo here and really focus on being able to move into the next inning with no runs on the board. That would be the best situation right now for this team.
Hokamo, starting third baseman. Just haven't quite got the memo from the White Sox camp. What's happening with Lara Andrews, the captain?
I didn't get a chance to catch up with Laura because I did see Ashley Johnson in the dugout with a bit of a shoulder injury going on, and that's an injury she's been carrying for a few weeks now. But I did not get a chance to catch up with Laura, so I'm not too sure.
Okamu takes one off the front elbow pad. First one out of the dugout to pick up the bat is Andrews, so maybe she's okay to go back. We'll find out later on in the match.
What I really like about Andrews here is that she's actually coming out of the dugout. She's still being part of the team. She's still helping. You know, she's not sitting on the bench and doing nothing. So you still have a role. I'm going to watch Tanisha here as that pitch comes in. She's going to take that on the shoulder, I believe. Oh, elbow. Those sting, I can tell you.
Even on a slow-mo, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see a lot of girls, they'll wear the elbow guards because that is, it hits you on the funny bone. It can be very painful.
It's one of those ones that stings for a while too. Good 5 or 6 minutes, doesn't it? Till the feeling comes back to the wrist.
Speaking of those elbow guards, you'll see Kyla here wearing one of those guards.
Oh, yeah, she's clever. She's been around a while, Kyla. Nice pitch on the inside edge to lead her off.
Brittany here, a pitcher that does like to go inside. That is her strength. That is what she's going to be working. So we'll see if the batters adjust to that early, if they back off the plate, or if they hold their ground.
Kyla Bromhead, West Aucklander. Waitakere Bears club here domestically. As you mentioned before, sisters playing together was a true landmark for Rebecca, the captain at first base against her today, and her other sister. They've also got a young catcher coming through as well.
Exactly. So Kyla has her daughter Tyon playing and just getting into the mix now, and so they've been able to play together at the premier level, which is something really, really special. So not only Tyon getting to play with mom, but playing with her aunties as well.
Rather cool indeed. And again, we were talking a little bit earlier about Narissa McDowd and how her mother was an Olympian in the White Sox team that went to the 2000 Olympics. Having that genealogy and that experience, that international experience at the dinner table just really pays off, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You'll see there's a lot of softball families, as we like to say. They are married to the sport. They live it, they breathe it, and it is so cool. And you can see on the field because, you know, when you're out at the softball field, you'll see the little ones running around. Everyone knows whose child it is because that's just what the community is all about.
Community sport for sure. Softball, it's a Kiwi sport. I think that's why we're so good at it on the world stage. Bromhead digs in here. 2-2 count as Terry rocks back to fire. Inside, she'll sky that one out of play though.
Doing well, throwing those up and ins. Again, like we said, Terry, that's going to be one of her strengths, is trying to hit that location because that is really hard pitch for these batters to turn on. And we've seen the White Sox hitting a lot of off-field hits, not quite getting their hands through the ball. And so that's going to work in Terry's favor if she can continue to hit that. And if the White Sox, they need to make an adjustment.
On the back of one. Not deep though. Foul territory, and it will land in foul territory down the left field line. Good chase by Nanaya Matangi. Just too far away from her range.
It's something that's really hard as a batter. So you would have seen they were throwing Kyla inside, and then going away. So there's a different technique that you actually have as a batter. So inside, you want to turn on it hard as a right-handed batter and hit it to the left side. When it goes away from you on the outside of the plate, you want to hit to right field. So you actually have to let that ball travel past you. So you have to sit, even though you know it's coming, you have to hold and not pull that trigger too early. So in this case, you'll see she pulled it to the left side, pulled the trigger a bit too early. So still adjusting and learning. She wouldn't have seen Brittany Terry a lot. So getting a lot of good cuts and seeing the ball a lot here.
Off and running. Aggressive, and a very close call at third base will get the coach Gabriel in the ear of umpire Hickman. And boy, that was bang, bang on the slide into third base. Could have gone either way. We'll see on the replay.
Ooh, those are close ones. Those are ones you have to watch 10 times over. You're still not sure, are you? It was really, really well done, trying to get that foot in, but I think just not able to get there. That's a hard play for umpires, bang, bang. Really hard to get in position, make sure you're ready for that.
Well, we're lucky we've got the Sky Sport slow-mo replay to our advantage. Remember, these umpires got to call it in real time. As it happens, bang, bang, and it's so quick out there sometimes. The dust flies up. Looks like the ball got there before her. Was the tag made in time? Was the foot made in time? I don't know. What do you think at home?
And that's tough. It was really well done over at third base, making sure our glove was out in front. So the ball travels faster than you can. So what was really key, we'll watch the glove here. Ball coming in. Ooh, I still don't know. And I've watched it. I've seen it a few times already.
That's because you don't want to say she was safe. That's all you don't want to say. No, either way, she's out now. We will change over the innings, and it'll be New Zealand A. They'll send up Pearl Marley Waitford, Emma Francis, and Brooke Whiteman here in the top of the second. So diplomatic, Jen. Is that from your years of pitching for the White Sox and knowing you need the umpires on your side sometimes?
Oh, absolutely. You definitely approach umpires a different way. Got to be nice.
This one comes down the edge, and that tram line down the edge is so successful for the zone that Mark Porteous has. So we'll see the pitchers on both teams exploit that from time to time. There's that same location. A good solid stroke, but off the end of the bat, and makes an easy out for the second baseman in this situation.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Amy work both sides of the plate here. We've seen her go outside quite a bit. I'd like to see her work more quadrants of that plate to see if she can get batters on edge, off balance a bit more.
Emma Francis now. First pitch. I'll just dispatch it to centre field. Don't worry about where the zone is. And that is the second hit of the ball game for the New Zealand A team.
Well done to Francis, because when you're up to bat for the first time seeing a pitcher, some batters really like to get their eye in and watch. Others come in ready to go. So that would have been the very first pitch she had seen from Amy Begg, and she pulled the trigger. So recognizing, hey, she's actually been going first pitch down the middle. If it's there, I'm going for it. But you need to be looking for that in the dugout. So it's already a game. Before you're already up to bat, you're already doing your job watching from the dugout, watching again when you're on deck.
I'm sure studying, student of the game she is Brooke Whiteman, the right fielder, now steps in to go to work. Whereas New Zealand A that pipped the White Sox last night, 2-1. On the hands, Apellis Potter will take care of this at first base.
Yeah, just trying to look to see where the sun's at, because I do know the sun will be a factor tonight. So last night we had the sun go down, the lights come on, and so that's a factor in itself. But you'll see today, you'll see a few more of those girls with the sunnies on. You'll see the eye black under their eye, because that does take out some of the glare. And also this field can be hard to play on, because typically softball dirt is a little bit darker color than this. So you have that light colored ball on this light colored dirt. So you have all these different things that, again, you're working with, and you have to be prepared for.
Nothing like being at the beach. That's what it looks like out there, isn't it? And it's a beautiful day too. Why wouldn't you be at this beach? The LE Sports Stadium here for the Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series. The Naya Matangi now swings on a lifter with a little something taken off too. The varied pace from Beg is excellent, isn't it?
And that's going to be key for a pitcher at that international elite level. You need to have a lot of different speeds to mix it up, because that is what, like we talked about last night, that is what keeps a batter off balance and able to take really big hacks at the ball.
Gee, she's not muck around there. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, says Beg. She'll sit down Matangi on 3 straight pitches. That'll do the top of the second for the New Zealand A side. No score in it as we head to the bottom half for the White Sox team. And they come out offensively to see what they can do against this Brittany Terry. Jen, you've had a chance to play softball all over the world. World Cups, and obviously your native country as well, original native country, not now, because this is your native country.
This is.
But, you know, you've had a chance to play around the world. The LE Sports Stadium, how would you rate that as a ballpark?
Oh, that's a good question. Now I'm trying to tap back into my memory to think about all the fields I've played at. Hey, I think it's a really cool setup, and to be able to play here often when we're in Auckland and have this as a home base, it's really, really cool. And to see the amount of fans that come out, I think that's really special in itself. So, really cool place to be.
Indeed. Built in 2013 when New Zealand hosted the WBC Men's World Championship. They'll do that again next year in February, where they'll host the WBC Men's World Cup. It's coming up in mid to late February. Mark that one in your calendar for sure. Colin Bromhead will get another at-bat here, as the batter was thrown out stealing in the last innings. She'll take the first pitch and drive that down the line for a strike.
So Kyla here in a really good position, because she has already seen a handful of pitches coming down from Brittany Terry. And so, like we said, that runner out at third base, Kyla still gets to come up and have her at bat. But you'll see that the count has reset. So for those that don't know, when you come back, you get a reset in this case. So she's no balls, no strikes. She is 1 strike down now, but ready to hack, ready to go in and hit that ball.
Change of pace. We'll skip one in action. That was the count 1-1 now. Terry with a couple of different pitches in her arsenal, Jen.
Yes, so I think one of her pitches that she utilizes most is her rise ball. She's also throwing some curveball and some changeups we've seen. I think that was the one that we just saw, skipping across the ground. But really, I think with Terry, just trying to hone it in, really work on the spots a bit more and hit that location. That's going to be key. Sometimes we tend to leave it over the middle of the plate or hit batters. So we'd really like to see her paint those corners and go hard at these batters.
Good location there. Well, you hear Jen talk about we, because it's Jennifer Ferret-Berry here, long-time White Sox pitcher, but also slugger as well, and spent a lot of time playing for our national team, and so she has that experience. Great to have you here in the booth, passing on your knowledge to our viewers today.
Oh, it's great to be here, Chopper. It's really good to be involved in a different way. And that's that foul ball that we were talking about. You never know. You have to watch to see where it's going to roll. But Bex Bromhead over at first base, having a lot of experience herself, so she knows exactly what she's looking for and able to watch the ball, track it, make sure it stays foul. But you do have the sisters, so Kyla up to bat, and on the opposing team, Bex over at first base.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few quick comments between each other. Fouls this one, just getting rid of that one is Bromhead. You talk about the change from playing for our national team, now commentating, Jen. I guess one of the upsides of that, No aches and pains next morning?
Oh, you'd be surprised. Sometimes sitting down is hard too.
Oh, come on. You kidding me?
It's really exciting to be up here because you can see the game differently and
Yeah.
you can watch it. We have it on the screen and I can see the pitchers coming in and you're able to watch it and have a little bit of a different view. But it's cool because those are still my mates out there and I get to see some of the young ones coming up as well.
This one's up and safely underneath that at left field is Nanaya Mate taking a two-handed catch.
Number 1.
Good battle, though, by Bromhead, going deep in the count.
Absolutely. We saw her fouling off that outside pitch down and away, which she didn't want. She's going to be able to do more in her power zone, which is when that ball comes inside. So that was her game plan. Just foul it off, stay it up, up at the plate, and then get that ball when it's where she wants it.
Krista Whiney now. Whiney was outstanding in the first match against the juniors. Takes that first pitch down through the bottom of the zone.
Krista Hawani here, a batter that you will very rarely see hit the ball in the infield. If you need a ball in the outfield in the air, she's your girl.
Full swing hip rotation on that one as it fouls back to the stadium roof.
Krista's one of those batters that, as a pitcher, I've been able to face her. She is very selective. She has a very, very good eye. So when she pulls the trigger, she's going hard. She knows what she's looking for, and she's going at that pitch. But if she doesn't like it, she'll leave it and she'll wait for her pitch.
Nice and fastidious, patient Hawaii again, as you put, Jen.
You'll see she's got that elbow guard. You'll also see she has on her helmet, she has that bit of a chin guard and that face guard, which is something that's sort of been brought into the game the last couple of years. It's been in the pro ball a little bit longer, but it's making its way into the women's softball game.
Pulled down the line. Outstanding protective equipment. Allows them to play the game with no fear. Be right in there, and I guess one of the things when you're hitting, you want to have your head close to the action as you're stroking the ball so you get the best view of it. Not only coming in, but going out.
Exactly. And this is a really good example. You have Brittany who throws a hard inside pitch on the inside, so for a batter to be able to confidently, stick their nose in at it and be able to go get that ball. Good eye from Hawani on that pitch.
Just bent a little high, a little wide from Terry. Moves the count even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whiney on the back end of one, looking for trouble, and she's found it. 2 bounces to the fence. She will trot into second base with a solid double.
That was a really well executed at bat. She was patient, like we said, waiting for her pitch. She saw something that she liked. But what was really important about that is that she kept her hands high and she kept her bat on top of the ball. Those pitches that are up in the zone like that are really easy to pop up because that ball, the way it's spinning, will take up the bat and pop up into the air. But she did a good job of countering that by getting her bat nice and high on that ball and being able to drive it into left center.
Strong top hand from Whiney. Plenty of power there, not far from going out. Plenty of power here as well. Lucy McIntyre, designated player. First pitch is low. One down at this point.
Yeah, so a really good place to be. 1 down. You have your runner at second base. So really just trying to get that ball out of the infield.
Use that inside delivery from Terry, wanting that last pitch. McIntyre in the hitter's count now. As you rightly said, with Whiney at second base in scoring position, a single with pretty good chances she can score from that point. And with the power of McIntyre in the hitter's count, favour and definitely in the corner of the White Sox.
And you'll see Beck-Strom had really playing off of first base. So knowing that McIntyre pulls the ball. She's a really strong player, but doesn't matter what side of the plate it's on, she typically goes down that left side of the field. So Rebecca Bromhead over at first base, knowing that, so you'll see she has come off that first baseline, and she is playing more where she's likely, if she does get a ball, it's going to be on that side.
That one's down Main Street. Moves the count now 3-1. Terry still up against a batter's count here for McIntyre. You can see that image there now. Bromhead to the right of the screen for first base, well off the line. Allows the second baseman to shuffle up the middle too. So kind of a stacked pull side defense. And they won't have anything to do with McIntyre anyway. She will pop down to first base with a walk. So the White Sox will have runners on 1 and 2 now with just the one out. And the hot hitting, Marissa McDowell, yesterday was simply outstanding. Today was good too. They were just hot shots that went to players, and sometimes that happens.
Yeah, now McDowell is a batter that can't hit to the right side, which would be ideal in this situation, but you wonder if they will put down a bunt. You know, you have your runners on. Will they move them? Will they be cautious? Or will Stan over at third base say, hey, swing away or drop the bunt? We'll see.
We'll find out indeed. It's always the game within the game, isn't it? The strategy within the strategy. McDowell's been given it now. She steps in, focuses, waiting for the delivery from Terry. Rose ball up top. Not far enough away from the catcher, though, Francis.
And this is a pitcher batter that will know each other a little bit, even though Terry's been away playing in the States. She is based out of Canterbury, so McDowell as well. They would have faced each other, known each other to some extent. So this is a really key matchup here in this game.
Brittany Terry straight out of the junior program. Pulls one down the line, does McDowell. Terry, one of the pitching staff on the U19 junior White Sox team that competed in Irvine, California last year. Incredible 9th place first. They were so close to making the Super Round.
Yeah, that was a tough series for them, but I really think looking at that team and who's coming back, they're super strong looking ahead. So I'm excited to see what that team does.
Foul down the right field line off the bat of McDowell. Yeah, very close. Their pivotal match, and it's funny how it happens sometimes, was their opening match. They played Chinese Taipei.
Yeah.
A little bit of gamemanship before the game too. Chinese Taipei protested, wouldn't allow New Zealand to perform the haka before the match. And then they battled each other, and Taipei squeaked out a very tight win in that opening pull round match. And unfortunately for New Zealand, that stopped them from getting into the Super Round. They went undefeated after that and finished in 9th place.
Yeah, those are sometimes you don't realize, but every single game counts. Every out, every throw, everything counts and everything matters, and it can catch up to you. So that was one of those games when you're watching it. It's great. You can say, in hindsight, this should happen, that should happen. Everyone's an armchair critic. Everyone has an opinion. But when you're in the moment, you know, all you can do is play to the best of your ability, and unfortunately it did not work out in their favor in that case.
This is up top, and it's back-to-back walks here from Terry. As McDowell will go down to first base, nice and patient. That'll give a timeout so the catcher Francis can go out there. And we see, I think it was Captain Bromhead called that one, bring the infield in, pass on her advice. It's like having another coach out there, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Bex has been around the game for a long time, and she knows when the situation calls for a timeout like this. And just settling her pitcher, saying, hey, this is the game. And in some ways, she'll be saying, hey, look, we have bases loaded. Now we can actually make the play at home and go to one, double play. We're out of the inning. So finding opportunities within situations like this. And she'll just be calming them down and saying, hey, look, this is a situation, and this is how we're going to deal with it.
Talk about making the step from junior to senior. This Brittany Terry, who's now playing for this New Zealand A side in the senior format. She's facing her teammate, Michaela Lewin now. She was in that junior team as well. So they're making that transition, aren't they?
And it's so good to see them playing at that next level and being able to make that jump. And by watching them, you can't tell. You know, when you sometimes when you see juniors, they go through those learning curves, but they're coming out to say, no, I belong here too. You know, I might not be part of the junior squad. I am now actually coming for you in your position.
Bends her back, coming in short. That Wendell drop it down. It's a play at the plate. And she will score. Krista Hawani. It looked like a suicide mission. That catch was made shallow by Erin Blackmore, the centre fielder. But she's like, no, I'm going to put you under pressure. And she did just that and caused the error to allow her to come in and score the first run of the ball game. The White Sox lead 1-0.
Absolutely. That is a gutsy call to be sending her on that play, because typically, when we'll see here again, that was a very short play. So really an advantage for the outfielder being so much closer to home. But you'll see Krista tagging up here, waiting until that catch is made. Only then can she advance home. The throw is a little bit off. Francis not able to hold onto the ball, and Krista able to go straight in and react, because that's a last-minute decision. Where is that ball going? How do I need to get into this base? So really well done for her, getting that timing right and getting in, and well done on that coaching call to send her.
Miriam Amakia now top of the shop for the White Sox. So they're back to the top of the order, right where they want to be. 2 runners in scoring position, albeit with 2 outs here. We're talking about transition from the junior program to the senior program. I want to try and mix her in here if I can. USA, we know they have some amazing pitching staff at the senior level. Outside delivery, 1-1 now the count. We know some outstanding pitchers, Monica Abbott, Jenny Finch, as they went through their production line of elite pitchers. Well, this young lass for the USA team last year at the Junior World Cup, Faremo was her last name. She is impressive. Samoan heritage, big, rise ball strong. I'll tell you what, it won't be long before you see her in the Stars and Stripes senior side.
Yeah, it's really impressive what they're putting out in America, and obviously there are a lot of girls competing, so that competition is such a high level, and they have access to a lot of things over there. Not everyone, because, you know, for me, myself, I was a small town kid. I didn't have access to any of that, contrary to popular belief, but they do have, once they're at that level and they make it, they have access to so many different things and technology to really improve them and hit that ground running.
Change up in the dirt. Well, this name, Faremo, mark it down in your notebook. If I remember correctly, she's gone to UCLA as a first year. Is that freshman?
Yes.
Freshman, first year. Guess what? She's a star on the roster in their team at UCLA. Well, UCLA, as you know, one of the top colleges in the United States, and she's an outstanding athlete. You'll hear a lot of that name, Faremo, in years to come. Hard hit ball. This will bend foul, though, from Markia. That's another name I think we'll hear a lot of in this White Sox team for a long time.
Yeah, Mariana, an absolute athlete, able to play, you know, multiple sports, but you'll see she plays multiple positions in the field as well. She can play infield, she can play outfield, and that is a hard transition because your throw's a little bit different. The way you react to the ball is totally different, but you'll see she's got wheels on the bases. She's able to bump the ball. She's able to hit for power. So definitely keep an eye on Mariana Macchia because she is someone who's going to be around for a while.
Foul tip, and Francis takes it for the 3rd strike here. Porteous behind the disc calls it straight away. He saw it. He's the closest to it. And that'll do the Sky Sport White Sox in the bottom of the 2nd innings, but not before. It's a sacrifice fly from Michaela Lewin and some gutsy base running from Krista Hawani. They have the lead, 1-0.
And there's that beautiful hit we see again from Krista, really sitting on that ball, making sure she was strong on top of it. It was an absolutely fantastic hit, and that ultimately allowed her to come around and score and put her team on the board.
Here's a shallow fly ball off the bat of, there's the Hawani replay of her double again, and she just hustles, doesn't she?
And that's really important. Once you hit the ball, you're going, and you're looking how many bases can I get? Because sometimes you push for one, but really push for that second one, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Here's the fly ball. Look how shallow this is by the time Blackmore catches it. But Hawani's off. I'm going to challenge you. And you'll see how close the play is, or the pressure is, when she reaches home plate coming up shortly.
So you'll see she goes back to the bag. She identifies it's in the air right away, and that is key, so she can set herself up and get ready to take off.
And leading off for the New Zealand A, the centre fielder number 2,
Plenty of experience there from Crystal Awani, driving it to the fence and sliding into home to give them the lead here, going into the top of the third innings. Leading off for the New Zealand A side will be Erin Blackmore. Then they'll go back to the top of the shop, Shaw Tate and Omatangi.
All right, so mixing up a little bit. Sometimes when we show bunt, we just want to see how the field moves. Are they quick? Are they on their toes ready? Or are they sleeping? And so now she has that field thinking, and she has multiple options now.
One off the glove of the third basewoman, and Blackmore will benefit from that as she'll go down to first base on the error. Oh, it was Blackmore last night, you remember, with the X factor. With two runners on, she drives one off the glove of the second basewoman and ends up with a bad throw to first base, plates the 2 runs for New Zealand A, the first 2 runs of the ball game. So something, somehow, some way, there's always something X factor about Blackmore, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just making it happen, being scrappy. I think if I were to give her a nickname, it might be Scrappy, because that would really sum her up quite well. She finds a way to get it done. Doesn't have to be pretty. She's just going to go hard.
Don't be the first one to the dinner plate. Doesn't matter. Blackmore will help herself to a base. Denver Shaw Tate now.
Right, so we have speed at first base, and we are at the top of the lineup here. Shaw doing really well, having a really good series. Someone who you have to be careful with.
Always seems like she's one of those players that'll spark plug, a bit like Caitlin Lewin with the juniors. She's that type of shortstop. So the double to centre field to lead off this match from Shaw Tate. A lot of the hits and outs she got yesterday's match were loud as well.
Absolutely. A player who can take it deep. And in this situation, she just wants to move the ball. Doesn't matter what it looks like. She needs to get her teammate into scoring position.
Off the end of the bat, this one, though, and nice play by Mark here. One of those spinners you have to be very careful about.
Yeah, and that was hard. So you'll see that when that ball was coming in, she also had the runner cross in front of her. So I would have actually liked to see her crash harder and maybe draw some contact, because then that runner is out and you get that lead runner out. But I think because that ball was so spinny, she may have actually just tried to sit and watch it into the glove. Hard play to make.
Difficult play indeed. First pitch is down low. The second basewoman, Tennille Omatangi, with Blackmore on board at second base, as you can see there.
So you'll see when Tennille is moving towards that pitcher, you'll also see her hands, and she'll loosen up on that bat, drop it short handle so she has more control. So when she does make contact, it deadens the ball, so it's nice and short, and that will allow Blackmore time to get over to third base.
Pick off attempt behind the back. Ball gets loose, but backing up straight away there. Just in case. Michaela Lewin.
And that's a really key position to be. Your outfield, you are the last line of defense. If that ball gets behind you, you are in trouble, because as you're running to get it, those runners are running around the field. So important for her to make sure that she stops that ball. Well done being there.
And Omatangi allows that one to come inside this time. Draws the walk. So New Zealand A got something cooking in the kitchen here. The top of the third innings, 2 runners on, and they'll hand it over to their captain, Rebecca Bromhead.
Yeah, and Bromhead here, I actually had a chance to catch up with Bex using a bat that she does not typically use. And so all these little things do make a difference. You know, you pick up a bat, you can pick up the same exact bat, and it's funny enough, she was talking about it. Her sister has the same exact bat. She picked it up. She goes, no, it feels different. So when you've been playing the game so long, you can feel those little things. And so her bat was ineligible. They threw it out of the game, said, nope, don't like it. So using a bat she's not so familiar with.
Hawani left fielders underneath this fly ball. No chance for the base runners to advance. It's a good off balance delivery from Big. Provides that fly ball. Hope Weber now struck out in the first innings.
The third baseman, number 16, Hope Weber.
Yeah, Weber going to really want to be stepping up for her team. 2 outs, so this is going to be on her. She's going to want to get her team on the board. This is going to be a big at-bat for her.
Our hitter is Weber. See, she pulls on that one down foul, just misses her coach in the third base box. Is Stan Doney in charge of the New Zealand A side this weekend.
Yeah, and Stan really known for his unconventional softball sometimes, and I really like to think that because it challenges the other team and keeps them on their toes.
Full swing from Weber underneath the drop ball too. Jen, I'm going to ask you this question as a hitter, talking to a pitcher. I'm not saying I'm a hitter, but when a batter gets underneath the spin cycle, a drop ball, they go under it, or on top of the rise ball, what does that say to you as the pitcher?
Well, if they're actually countering what I'm pitching and they're able to match that up, then I'm a bit concerned. But when I see them missing it and not able to make that adjustment, I'm rubbing my hands together and I'm thinking, all right, I'm onto this. You're not making an adjustment. I can just keep climbing that ladder,
yeah.
And I know how to approach that. So you know your batters that will make the adjustment and those that will just keep doing the same thing over and over.
Big, just trying to clip that outside edge or temp Weber. 2-2-2. 2 outs, 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 runners on. Weber pulls that one down the line as well. Anything on the inside, it's pulled away, doesn't it?
Yep. And that's what's so important, the inside pitch. It's a really key pitch, but it's something, it can be dangerous because that's where a lot of batters have power if they can turn on the ball. And when I say turn, that means getting those hands through the body. But you'll see we're getting jammed and we're pulling it foul. And as a pitcher, when I see that, when I see a batter, oh, I can throw you an inside ball safely and you're going to foul the ball off all day, I can just rack up those strikes, all those foul balls. Now I'm up 2 strikes, and then I can throw you down and out, change up, off pace, strikeout, or a mishit to my field. And so that's how you read that batter and work to their weaknesses.
Here comes the money pitch now. Full count, 2 down, runners will be in motion. Back into 1. Lewin at centre field has complete control of it though. So they got into a spot of bother. 2 flyouts, 1 to left field, 1 to centre. Takes care of business for Amy Begg, and she keeps the donuts up top on the scoreboard for New Zealand A here. New Zealand White Sox, so they're leading 1-0 at this point. Jen, what do they need to do now to capitalise on this small lead they have so far?
I think, like we talked about it yesterday, I really want to see them open up and start swinging more. And when you're taking bigger cuts, yep, sometimes it leads to strikeouts, but at the same time, when you make contact, you can do more damage. So there's no reason to sit there and, I just want to put my bat on the ball, and it doesn't go very far. It doesn't go out of the infield. You really need to actually start doing something with that ball and swinging harder and making a statement, because right now, bat on ball isn't enough. They need to put it hard somewhere. And as we've seen with this field and this dirt, we have some soft spots, we have some hard spots, and it makes it really challenging for those fielders to counter that. So I want to see some harder swings. That's what I want to see.
Well, the ability to put the bat on ball and put it with aggression, that's what we'd like to see from the Sky Sports White Sox team as well, and I'm sure they won't disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. Great to have you along here for the big match, the last match of the Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series here live from the LE Sports Stadium on Sky Sport 9. And boy, it's been a great weekend of softball so far, Jen, in this game. I tell you what, tight as it is now, it's going to be good to the right to the end. It'll be Michaela Wirihiko will lead us off here in the bottom of the 3rd innings.
It's been an awesome weekend for softball, and what's really nice is we're still early days. We've seen some really good softball. This is the beginning of the season, and talking to some of the girls, just appreciating being able to be back out on the field. So, with COVID locking putting us in lockdown and in and out, and the madness that has happened this year. It's been so nice to get together with their teammates, get out on the field, but appreciating it for being in the moment and for what it is, because we don't know in the next couple of weeks what'll happen. So, are you training for finals? Are you training for tournaments? We don't know. So the girls really able to take another look and say, you know what? This is the game we're in. This is the moment we have. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah, it's great to see, Jen. You kind of touched on that, this beautiful country, Aotearoa, working so hard together. Team of 5 million, as they call it, getting rid of COVID twice now and looking after each other. We have the freedom in our country to be playing sport, and it's great to have sport back, isn't it? And to be able to go around and enjoy each other's company. We are so lucky to live in this beautiful country, Aotearoa. Good delivery from Terry. Continues to work here. Thrown all the innings so far has Brittany Terry. 56 pitches so far, 28 balls and 28 strikes. And works a very good patient walk, does Wirihiko. And just what the doctor ordered, a lead-off runner on.
As much as I said earlier, I'd like to see some big swings. I like that they're still being selective, because a walk is just as good as a hit. And so finding the best way to get on. And so what the girls have identified is that Brittany Terry is throwing a lot of balls. So sitting, waiting for that strike, but also knowing that if you're not going to get a good hit, leave it and take that base.
This one down low below the zone to the slugger, Palace Potter. Potter struck out back in the first innings. Haven't quite seen the numbers from her we normally see at a series. But you know what? With the power of Potter, anything can happen at any time.
Oh, absolutely. And Potter, rarely a strikeout batter. So she will be coming in on this one saying, you might have got me once, but it's not going to happen again.
Gotta say, Palace Potter, you look at that batter there, it looks like a twig. She's an impressive athlete, that's for sure. Bunt goes down, but come back and strikes Potter in the batter's box. So they call it dead ball. It's simply a strike on the batter, and they come back and reset. The base runner will go back to first base as well.
And this is where you'll see Roman coming out to make sure we're good, making sure the call went in their favor, and now having opportunity to talk to his batters. So sometimes, if that ball bounces up and the batter's still in the box, then cool, foul ball. But if they're out of the box, they have left the box, then that is an out.
Good insight. Jennifer Ferrer being here, long-time White Sox player, pitcher and slugger. Good insight for us as well. We're going to get some more insight for you. Joining us next innings will be the head coach for the junior White Sox team. At the end of the bat, it'll go foul though from Potter, and that is Kitty Shaw will be joining us, and we'll get a chance to ask her about what's happening with the junior program, their preparation, of course, for their big moment in the sun, and that is their World Cup coming up in March next year in Lima, Peru.
Yeah, so, that was meant to be happening this year. So they've done all the preparation, and then to have to go and, it's another year away. But at the same time, now they have extra time to prepare, and they have this series, and this is a great time for them to get together and start building again.
On the hands again from Potter. Terry just being very careful with the location on her.
Mm-hmm. And what I like to see was Pally putting bat out to show for bunt, because often you'll see some of the bigger hitters, we know they can hit the ball hard, but they can still drop a bunt. And because look how far, the players, your first and third base, are back. Now, in this case, you do have 2 strikes, so very unlikely you bunt, because if you bunt and you bunt foul, that's an out. So probably not going to happen in this case.
Good hands back on the change-up from Potter. She swings through on that one. Well, I'll tell you what, Jen, I don't know about you, but if Palace Potter's up to bat, and if I'm playing first or third, I'm like back on the fence. There's no way I'm sitting close to that girl when she's got a bat in her hand.
That's exactly that. So if you're on a corner, you know that ball is going to be coming hot off of her bat. You do not want to stand very close. So she has the ability to put down a bunt and be standing on first base by the time they come in and pick up that ball. So just making, having more tools in her toolkit, making her more of a threat when she's up to bat.
She's a threat, all right. Palace Potter.
Just missing that ball, really hanging in there. And so as a pitcher, when you're pitching and they're fouling it off, they're just missing. So you start, okay, how can I beat you? How can I trick you? What is it that I need to do to mix things up? But Palace, on the other hand, really getting her eye in and feeling more confident with every pitch.
Good delivery from Terry, a curveball that just clips the outside of the plate and gets the dangerous Potter on strikes.
Well, we said earlier that Palace very rarely strikes out, and this is 2 looking strikeouts. So whatever it is that Brittany's doing, she's got her number, and Brittany needs to remember that because that is a good batter that she's just taken out twice.
Tanisha Hokomo hit by pitch in the first innings on the front elbow. Goes at the first pitch here, and unfortunately for Werehiko at first base, was off and running on the pitch as well. No chance to get back up to first in time. It's a double play, and just like that, New Zealand A are out of the innings.
Yes, well done for New Zealand A. And I know Tanisha will be bummed because earlier in the last game, she hit into a double play over to second base, and so this will be her second instance today. And sometimes it's just bad luck because she just missed that ball. Had it gone a little to the left or the right, different scenario, but I know she will take that away, and next at bat, I can't wait to see what she does because she is going to want to be getting on base.
She will be itching to get on base. When Hokamo's got something on her mind, boy, oh boy, something happens. It'll be Pearl Marley-Wade for them, Emma Francis and Brooke Whiteman, 1, 2, 3 for the New Zealand A side as they come out in the top of the 4th innings. I mentioned we've got Kitty Shaw coming in shortly to have a chat with her as well. But let's talk about New Zealand A now. They're trailing by 1 run at this point. We're in the middle part of their order. What's going to be the keys to their success marching through the back end of this game?
I think they need to start doing the damage now, really start putting their foot forward and saying, no, this game's not over. We're just getting started. And a really good opportunity here because Pearl is up, and Pearl is putting up good numbers this weekend. So, she has had 9 at-bats and has had 5 hits. So she's really in a really good position to continue with what she's been doing and get this rally going for her team.
She's got game, has Marley Wadeford, that's for sure. First pitch is straight down Main Street. She's taking that one all the way, though.
That was a
dirty
pitch. Yeah, that is a beautiful location, and a big, strong batter like Pearl, that is a really good pitch that you want to throw to her. And that was a great, great location. You'll see right as she went to swing, it just dropped off the table. Couldn't ask for much more. Well done. So sitting down Pearl, throwing those back-to-back changeups, that's huge. That is when you get to that next level, to be confident enough to throw back-to-back changeups and really good location. So well done to Amy. That was an outstanding pitch put together for her.
Working well is Amy Begg. She's been putting together a good book of work here all the way through this match. She's kept New Zealand A scoreless. We mentioned she had that first scratchy innings against the junior White Sox, but after that, she had bared down against them as well. So she seems to have one innings to get out of her way. She did that against the juniors. But then she's been pretty decent so far since then, hasn't she?
Yeah, and that was really big for Begg because we were just saying that Pearl has had a really good showing this weekend. And so for her to come up and be a threat and Amy to shut her down right away, she said, not in my game.
Hot shot in the corner, comes off the glove of Hokamo, through to Werehiko, the assist, if you like, and she makes a strong throw. That's an exceptional defensive gem right there.
And that is what is so awesome about this game, because you need to be an athlete. You need to be able to react. So Tanisha moving enough to get the glove on the ball, ricocheting off her glove. We'll see here.
I'm pretty sure Hokamo said, here, you take this one. And she knocks it over to her, but that's a top play by the shortstop from New Zealand there. Here's a good shot, though, from Brooke Whiteman, as she will drill that one to left field for the third hit of the ball game for the New Zealand A side.
That's that dreaded 5-6 hole that it's so hard to really cover that hole, and so many hits go through there. But really well done to Whiteman. Again, stepping up, saying, nope, we're not done yet. We're still coming at you.
Naya Matangi now struck out in the second innings. Sees the first pitch down Main Street. Amy Begg doesn't muck around, does she? Gets the ball back straight on the saddle and goes again.
Nanaya also putting up some good results this weekend. So 4 hits out of 9 at bats earlier, and she has a few RBIs as well. So again, a player still having to be careful with when you have a runner on one.
Good to see the contribution from the New Zealand A side from the number 8 hitter. And another good stroke from Matangi as that one will go to left field for a solid single. New Zealand A now with 2 ducks on the pond, as you put it, Jen, albeit with 2 out.
All right, well, we talked about Erin Blackmore earlier being scrappy and finding any way to get the job done, so she is going to be stoked to be in this position. 2 outs, bit of pressure, right? We talked about earlier, you're either applying pressure or you're feeling pressure, and that's all how you interpret that. So for her, she, as the batter, should be feeling pressure with 2 outs, but instead she's like, nah, I'm Erin Blackmore. I'm here. I've got my runners on the field. I'm going to put pressure on you and make you do the work.
X Factor, I call her Erin Blackmore, and it's a big spot in this match. Could be a pivotal spot too. 4 hits to 2. New Zealand A are leading the hit count. They could do with just another little something here to break this lead by the Sky Sports White Sox team. 2 balls in a row to Blackmore to start this at bat. Good change of pace and velocity. She drops that change up right down Main Street.
I'm really happy to see Amy throwing that change up a lot, and especially with that count, 2 balls, no strikes. You have to be confident to throw that over the plate. Well done to Amy.
Just missing the outside edge, and I understand where Miss Begg is kind of wooing about there, because that is very, very close. As I mentioned, coming up shortly, I know you're waiting for it, Kitty Shaw, head coach for the Junior White Sox. She's going to join us in the innings break after the 3rd out here in the top of the 4th innings. There's the pitch she wanted, and it does come down the edge there to load the count.
Well done to come back. That's a crucial pitch, and so Blackmore, knowing that she's up in the count, if this looks good, I'm going hard at it. And Begg's still able to hit that corner without her attacking. So full count, base runners are going to be moving on this because you have 2 outs, bat on ball, they're going.
Off and running. Slow roller though, and Markia will make that underhander and take care of business. More importantly for the White Sox, it's another donut, Krispy Kreme we want to call it, whatever you like. It's working defensively. New Zealand A remains scoreless through 4 innings. We'll be back with the action in the bottom of the 4th, but before we get there, the Sky Sport White Sox are leading 1-0. We know we've got the head coach, as we mentioned, from the Junior White Sox. Join us, Kitty Shaw. Kitty, welcome.
Hey, how's it?
Fantastic. Kitty, look, we got to see some outstanding softball from your Junior White Sox team this weekend. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. You're totally stoked with the way that we progressed over the 3 days that we had together, 4 days that we came on together on Friday, and started our game Saturday morning against the combined Bears and Otahu game. So, you know, it's been a long winter for our girls and a long campaign with the postponement of our World Cup that was supposed to take place in August to now being moved to March. So you know, when I take stock of it, I'm so proud of the girls, how they've coped, you know, having to mentally prepare and physically limited in terms of their preparation and just the whole uncertainty to get to this point, and just progressively get to a stage where today, you know, right until the last pitch, we didn't think that we weren't going to win the game. So that's awesome.
It was pretty impressive indeed. And we'll go back to the game shortly. Tell us about with the lockdown and what are some of the tools that you and your coaching staff have used with your athletes?
Yeah, I think it's just staying in regular touch, you know, and trying to keep their spirits up and trying to stay and not feed them too much information, knowing that we actually don't know what's happening. So it was really a pace of comms and trying to create, you know, collegiality and team, you know, get each other familiar. And man, I'll tell you what, I don't know, it was like, holy hell, if we ever get a campaign again, it's like, can we not have COVID, please?
Well, as we move into the bottom of the fourth innings, it'll be the Sky Sports White Sox team. It'll be Kyla Bromhead, Krista Wani and Lucy McIntyre. But there's a change on the hill here. The big star last night will come on to the hill, replace Brittany Terry. That is Lauren Parker.
And Lauren having a really outstanding game last night, but different combination here. So she was throwing to Ashley Scott last night. Today, she's throwing to Emma Francis. So we'll see how that mixes up her game and see if she can keep the batters off balance.
Well, that'll be the question mark for sure. And I guess before we go back to talk about your campaign, Kitty, because I know you've watched all of the matches that are happening here, you've got to be impressed with how Lauren Parker last night rose to the occasion.
Yeah, I definitely thought she threw better last night against the White Sox. I thought she had more punch on her pitch and more, you know, more accuracy with her location. I definitely thought that. I thought when we played her, she was a bit, maybe, you know, just coming in. The Aucklanders and North Islanders haven't had a lot of balls, so, you know, you figured that. But definitely I thought last night she was a lot more tighter and a lot more, controlled.
Well, very impressive indeed. And Kitty, if we talk about your World Cup coming up, the WBSC U18 Women's World Cup, where is that going to be hosted?
So that's in Peru at the end of March, April. And we've just maintained, you know, we've just continued to be optimistic and positive that it's going to go ahead. You know, if we doubt anything, then that kind of puts the uncertainty and doubt into our players' minds. And so we've said, look, you know, as far as we know, as far as we're our preparation, that cup's going to happen, and so we need to be prepared.
Well, I understand from the WBSC's point of view that the tournament is going ahead, so we cross our fingers for all of that. Obviously, you're referring to COVID. I got an idea. Why don't you just move it to New Zealand? We'll get Sky Sport to cover the tournament right here at ELE Sports Stadium.
Hey, why? Well, isn't that a great idea? You know,
COVID-free here.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Well, from what I know, you know, a lot of countries seem to have shut down shop with their COVID updates, and
we'll give you a lovely holiday in a hotel for 2 weeks when you arrive. A few pina coladas.
You know, you've got to try something, and so. Yeah, you know, we're really happy. You know, I appreciate Softball New Zealand starts. They've tried to. They're going to hold on until the very last, you know, 25th hour or whatever to make that decision. Player safety and health is paramount. We understand that, but they're going to do what they can do before they, you know, they make that final decision there. So at this stage, we're going.
Well, with you going, as we see Krista Rani battling against Lauren Parker here. With you going, decisions made right at this point, that's what's happening. What will the build-up look like for the junior White Sox from this point onwards?
Yeah, so, you know, our original build-up was to go via Florida. You know, this is post or pre-whatever pandemic. And then our build-up there and then head to Peru. Now we can see it being internal, which, you know, the change of date actually works for us because we're coming just at the end of our season.
Perfect.
Previous World Cups, you know, our national teams have had to prepare in the winter. Then you go into, you know, a season where everyone else has played because, you know, and so this is, you know, this is really advantage for us for that postponed date for us to be, everybody's had a lot of ball there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the girls will come out of the domestic season after playing a lot of ball, match fit, set, ready to hit,
Yeah.
and they'll get to go to a World Cup. That
Yeah.
can't be any better. Now tell me, will you enter your side into a couple of tournaments maybe through the season as well?
Well, I guess if the isolation rules and everything like that are still in, we expect to have an internal tour,
Yep.
you know, and face those, you know, strong American pitchers that hopefully that they're still around. You know, we know we can get tough ball here from the likes of those, you know, our White Sox and maybe some younger guys in that, and that'll do us, you know. It means we have to go in and isolate for 2 weeks, whatever we want
Yeah.
to do.
Well, actually, you can see this weekend how good it has been to play against these top sides. New Zealand are playing outstanding at the moment. Chris Ioane, just the infield hit there to get on first base. But it's neck and neck, isn't it? And let's now flick back to your last match against the White Sox here today. A match that, when everyone sees it on paper, they're like, there's no chance the juniors can last a full game against them. Well, you proved them wrong today, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And we were stoked that, you know, last night was a great start for us. You know, 3...
Double play
Oops.
ball, maybe? Throws a little high, but they will get the lead runner. Sorry.
No,
Kitty.
that's all right. We had 3 really good innings, and we had set, you know, goals that just had to come out of our scrimmage games and against the NZA team. And so we were happy with our 3 innings, and then it got away from us. So we wanted to build on that and ensure that our goal was to go the distance, go the 7 innings. And then, you know, it got close. It's like, actually, we're in here to win, you know. And yes, we want to go in that mentality anyway. But, yeah, I think with young girls, if you put the, you know, some really tall order goals, if we keep it small and if we keep it achievable for them, then they just focus on that. And it's been great.
Well, the second innings in that match against the White Sox, they score 2. You come out and score 3 runs at the top of the third before adding 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. You've got to be happy with that run production.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about, and, you know, we saw Tyler throw yesterday, and we went in with the team hitting plan. To take away an inside pitch, and also we felt we were getting caught on outside pitch, like a really outside pitch. So we thought if we closed up that plate, then that gets that blue a good look at that outside pitch, knowing that we've closed it up so it can't be a strike. And then we worked on our pre-game warm-up, hitting that low insider. So let's see if she can throw it or she's going to hit you, and we take away a pitch of hers. So that was the plan. There's 2 or 3 hitters that we didn't. We allowed them to stay in their setup because they're hitting really well. Caitlin Lewin, Lace Tangiano, and Lily Nielsen. But everybody else was going to close up that plate and literally stand on the line and know that if it came down there, we were swinging. And that's exactly what we do. We talked about limiting our, minimising our strikeouts, put the ball in the dirt, and make them make a play. And as you see, a couple of them did that. We got errors off them, got great speed, great base running. So if we can continue to do that, that is what's happened. We'll become a competitive ball team.
Well, you just saw their bottom of the 4th innings. Ioane gets on board with infield single, but they leave her stranded, no score, as we go to the top of the 5th innings. And I'm just about to let you go, Kitty. Any last words? Because I know, especially at this level, it's a funded player system with whānau all getting behind it and fundraising. Any last word you'd like to say?
No, we just, we're so thankful for the whānau. And we had this is our first time that we've been able to get together. And we had a really good team culture session. You know, what do we want to be? You know, what type of athletes do we want to be as junior White Sox players? What type of athletes do we want others to perceive us as? That was a great session on Friday night, and it's probably something it's the first time I've been involved in terms of trying to create it, and it's massive. And I just think the girls, we were successful because they walked the talk in terms of what they wanted in terms of our team culture, and they continue to build on their relationships over the last 3 or 4 days, and it's always been about family. So, I'm really excited to see how we go from here.
I said that was the last question, but I forgot. This is your daughter up to bat now. Let's see you commentate your daughter here. Tell us what's going to happen. Denver Shore take leading off.
You know, people have been asking, what should you throw her? And I was like, she's been hitting like a little bit of a donkey at the moment down at home. So I actually don't know. Hey, she's enjoying herself, and I think this is when she plays her best, is enjoying herself. Not too much thinking, not much different from our young girls, you know. So yeah, I always like to go at the hands, come back with the change up. You know?
Don't tell her the secrets how to get your daughter out. You're supposed to pump her up. What's she going to do? Where's she going to hit it? That's the question.
Oh, I think she can line drive this if it gets in her, hitting zone.
Line drive up the middle. There you go. You called her a donkey, by the way. I will tell her about that later.
She might have heard that. And that was my mum. I'll show you.
Well, thank you very much, Kitty Shaw, head coach for the Junior White Sox.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Oh, that was excellent. I think she'll hit a line drive and boom, she does just that. I think she'll want her mum up in the booth more often, Jen, even when she calls her a donkey.
Oh, exactly. Hey, softballers are really superstitious, so maybe that might have to be a thing now.
Tanio Omatangi now. Lays one down soft. The pitcher's got it. It's a hard throw, and she is safe. Omatangi with the jet down to first base.
Yeah, we see a little bit of a communication mix-up there. All three players crashing in, so beautifully placed bunt by Tanil, because as she's running, those players are talking, who's getting this? And then they've got to turn around and make that throw, so well done to her.
Well, New Zealand A now, not on the scoreboard yet, but they do have 6 hits on the day. Bromhead just spoiling that outside pitch. Rebecca Bromhead, first base, but captain of this New Zealand A side. She'll be very proud of the book of work that they have put together this weekend. But I'll tell you what, I bet you should be loving to close it with a good bookend at the end as well.
Oh, absolutely. And she's such a good role model and team player. So I know she'll be talking to her girls when they're in the dugout, when they're on the field, and really helping them work through this and get them in the right frame of mind.
Nice base running out there by Shaw Tate. Draws the throw to third base. Doesn't need to go there, but she made them do something, didn't she? Exactly,
and it's all about putting that pressure on the defense. You can make things happen. Even though you don't have the bat in your hand, if you're aggressive and you make a throw, all it takes is a little hiccup, a little overthrow or a drop ball, and then all of a sudden you're running around the bases and you're scoring runs for your team. So well done for making something happen there.
Foul down the line, hot shot though off the bat of Bromhead. Tight match up here. Plenty of hits, but defense has been good. 6 hits to the A side and to the top side, the Sky Sports White Sox team. I've got 3 on the board.
And this is one of those points in the game we talk about. This is a crucial moment, and the White Sox really need to get an out here.
Bromhead over the top, good strong and top hand, just pulls it foul a little though.
Yeah, so we have runners on first and second base, and we have no outs. So the White Sox really having to work hard. Begg going to have to go at Rebecca here and get this out because she's the number 3 batter. So you have a lot of RBI hitters and a lot of power hitters coming up in this lineup. So you need to shut them down now and somehow keep that ball in the infield.
Ground out the third base. A fly ball to left field. And the first 2 at-bats, the first and the third for Bromhead. She watches that one sail over the top of the zone. 2-2 the count now.
Beck's here just looking to put bat on ball because if she can't hit it deep in the outfield, and then her runners can advance or hard on the ground in between.
Foul ball just taken. The third basewoman, Hokamo. I think after she threw that one, she was like, oh, that's right, I can touch third base.
Yeah, well, Tanisha's someone who does play many positions in the field.
Utility.
She's an up-and-coming pitcher as well, so keep an eye out because you're going to see in a few years she had an outstanding run back in 2014 with the White Sox when she was quite a baby just then, just coming out of the juniors and pitching then. So just give her time to get back into it. But right now, she plays first. She plays, I think she was right field earlier at the beginning of this game. She was meant to play.
Tough play. 1. Werehickle with a great glove snags the base, but a little contact, unfortunately, with Miriam Marquez too. She was about to unload the double throw to first base there, but a good out taken nevertheless.
And that was a really smart play. There was a lot of different things going on there, and it was first and foremost, get the ball, make sure you get one definite out. She could have turned, tried to jump, tried to make a fancy play, but had that happened, she would have thrown the ball away, and that runner could have gone home. So that was a heads-up softball right there.
Hope Weber now. We're going to break this one open. Break it open she does. One bounce to the fence and may unload the 2 runners on the bases. In comes one. No play at the plate. Yes, there is. And she is in. Rebecca Bromhead all the way from first base. It's Hope Weber with a big stroke here in the top of the 5th innings. We've got ourselves a lead change. New Zealand A leading 2 runs to 1.
Yeah, we said earlier, I think I was just a few innings too soon because I said Hope would be wanting to come out and really step up, and she did just that. So we said good batters, they are going to go for at least 1 hit a game, 1 out of 3 at bats. And getting into this point in the game, she hadn't had a hit yet, so she was due, and that was just early in the count, pulling the trigger. Well done to Hope on getting on that ball.
Well, a momentum shift and a mighty swing by third baseman Weber. It's really changed the dynamic in this match. Change up, comes through the top of the zone. The designated player, Pearl Marley Waitford.
And Waitford, like we said earlier, having a really good weekend, has 5 RBIs on the weekend thus far, so dangerous with the bat in her hand.
This one looking for no man's land, but there is no such place when Michaela Werehickle is at shortstop. What a great play from the New Zealand starting shortstop there to grab the second out.
That is a big play. That is huge. To be able to track that ball back when it's so low and be able to jump up and retrieve that, because if that ball goes down, that runner is at least at third base, and now you've won out with runner in scoring position. So that could have kept her team in the ball game a bit more. It's going to be really interesting to see how Begg refocuses here, knowing that they're down and now she's chasing. All of a sudden, the game has changed for her. So we'll see how much she's able to close out this inning.
First delivery is low to the opposing catcher, Emma Francis. Francis, solid single to centre in her first at bat. That was back in the 2nd innings. And then I wrote 5-6-3. It wasn't really that. It was the one that glanced off the third baseman's glove, and Werehickle made a strong throw from shortstop.
Yep, that's the one. So Emma here, another really good example of a player who's been on the scene, went through the juniors, had some injuries, spent some time away, and just coming back and wanting to make her mark.
Big swing from Francis as she slides over the plate.
And another extra advantage that she has, she's a catcher. So she knows what the battery is trying to do right now, what the pitcher and catcher are trying to work towards. So it does give a little bit of an advantage to know how to work a batter.
Slow grounder, Werehickle's there, good field, nice transfer, and that'll secure the out here in the top of the 5th innings. That it's not before Hope Weber's mighty swat to centre field. It drives in the 2 runs of Shaw Tate and Bromhead. And it is New Zealand A leading the Sky Sports White Sox 2 runs to 1. Jen, we got ourselves a ball game.
Yeah, how about that? We're going to look at that hit again from Weber, see where that pitch is. And that is in a really sweet spot for Hope. That ball a little bit too elevated. Weber able to get under it, drive it hard to the outfield, and give her teammates time to get around those bases. You can see the focus in her face. She knows what she's looking for, pulls that trigger, swinging hard, which is what we were looking for. We wanted some more action, and Hope giving it to us.
I think a very lucky, compact swing from Weber. Oh boy, if she had elevated that a little bit more, that thing was going yard. She made good, solid contact there
You see the smile on Stan's face down there in the corner. He's pumped. He knows what that means. Once he sees that ball going to the outfield, you'll see Bex running around. Would have liked to see a slide. I don't think she realized how close that play was at home. You always slide, and she knows that. And we'll have a chat about it later, I'm sure. But Marla here, there's that key play, key
Look
catch.
at that.
Oh, love it. Beautiful.
That's all that's missing on the end of that catch. I tell you, that's a fine play by the shortstop for New Zealand. Well, New Zealand will have to get it going now, trailing by 1. They'll do it with the number 9 hitter first, Michaela Lewin. Then he'll come back to the top of the shot, Miriam Amakia and Michaela Wirehiko.
And that was a beautiful pitch there from Lauren Parker, being able to throw that down and inside pitch. When you have a batter with power who's able to move and control their bat, a down and in is really hard to get your bat on. You'll see Lauren mixing up the changeup now, which is good to see, but you'll also see that Emma not having a lot of time with Lauren, so learning how to read that pitch. So Lauren's changeup so good in this case that it actually fooled her catcher as well.
Michaela Lewin, she drove in the first run for the White Sox back in the second innings on a deep sacrifice fly. Well, deep enough, I should say. Krista Winey coming in from third base there.
And seeing Lauren out on the mound, I know I saw her mother today. We were talking about the game yesterday and how proud she is. And I guess Lauren's grandmother was calling up all of her friends and telling them to put the game on in the nursing home. So they were all able to watch the game. So shout out to anyone watching out there at the nursing homes.
Indeed. Lauren Parker's grandmother in the nursing home. I hope the tea is warm and the cookies are soft.
So not the grandmother, but the grandmother's friend. So
the grandmother's friends, right.
Grandma's calling up. She's watching, and she thinks, it's just absolutely amazing to be able to see Lauren out there on the mound doing really well.
I think that's my very first shout out to a rest home. Thank you, Jen, for putting that one out there for us.
Hey, everybody's watching. We're here for everybody.
We are indeed, and it's great to have you along. I hope you're enjoying the coverage here on Sky Sport 9. It's our complete privilege to have you along for this ride. Michaela Lewin now with a 2-2 count. Fights that one off. Goes foul. Momentum shift, Jen. When team scores against you, especially when they grab the lead there.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last night. It is answering back. It is saying, okay, you might have scored some runs. Now it's our turn. We're going to shut you down right away. We don't want you to ride that momentum too long. So it's really, really important here for the White Sox to get on and put that pressure on right away.
Solid stroke the other way, but finally fielded by Omatangi at second base. That's not easy. She made it look easy.
Yeah, it is hard to transition and get that glove out and stay low. So well done to her to be able to move. And again, you have to be an athlete to be able to do stuff like that. I know the girls out here are making it look easy, but this is early days in the season, and these are things that these girls have been working on for years. So it may look easy, but there's a lot of work that goes into something to make it look that good.
Miriam Amakia now. Mixed bag today for her. Walk in the first, a strikeout in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, but and seeing Lauren Parker, so obviously seeing Lauren last night, but first time in this game. Sometimes, day to day, it does change for a pitcher. You might have some niggles or you're a bit tight in some places. So pitching can change day to day. So this will be really interesting to see this matchup. I think it was a good decision. It was a good pitching change, and we're seeing the results of that. So the A side now in a really good position.
Parker poised to get the signal. Ready now. Change of pace. Saw a little bit of this from the juniors. When they grabbed the lead, they slowed the momentum, and it feels like they're just slowing a little bit on the White Sox at this point.
Exactly, and what Lauren does a really good job. She has her routine. So as a pitcher, it is really, really important. You go back to the mound, you take your deep breath.
Hard hit ball. Wind will knock it down though, and a fine catch by Martungi at left field.
Yeah, that was a good piece by Maki, but you see once it gets up at that certain point in the air, the wind just holds it up, and left field able to get under that ball.
Kayla Wirihiko, she's been great today. Single to center field, a stolen bag, and a walk.
She had a really big inning last inning and able to make those plays for her team to get them out of a tight spot with minimal damage. Some really key plays from her. Outstanding shortstop play by her.
Well, you did right. I was only talking about the offense, but her defense has been impeccable today. Definitely leading the charge here as the starting shortstop for the New Zealand team. Little change of pace on the outside edge. 76 kilometres, really pulling it back on the dial there at times.
Yeah, and it's really good to see her mix that in a lot. We've seen a lot of changeup in this game coming from Amy and also coming from Lauren. So it's good to see because it's such a vital pitch to have in the arsenal. And they're good changeups too. I love a good changeup, Chopper.
Yeah, you do, you do. You see the benefit of it there on that hard pitch on the outside. Wirihiko was late on it, so that timing mechanism, tough to adjust. Inside pitch just misses the zone and Wirihiko.
So you'll see Michaela there sticking her bat out in the plate, and sometimes that's just really helping her to see a bit more. So seeing that, tracking that ball in, coming towards the bat, and taking that time to really visualize that hit.
Hands back on the change up from Parker this time. Pulls it just foul.
Now 2-2 again as a pitcher. This is something where you still want to go at the batter, because if you throw a ball here, then you're down 3-2. And you have to throw a strike that next pitch, and that batter knows that. So really, 2-2 is a really important count for a pitcher.
Little curving action outside the zone. Wirihiko really working for her dinner here tonight, that's for sure. Good quality at bat, full count now. Parker's got another idea of the outcome though. And they'll check the swing. No swing, good control by Wirihiko's bat, and she'll deservedly pick up a walk and head down to first base. 2 outs though. And to say she's due might be an understatement, Pally Potter, but she might be happy that, as we see here, this check swing, she checked it all right. Good call by first base umpire Annie McManus.
Yeah, and so when we're talking about check swings, what that umpire down that baseline is looking for is they're looking for that bat head to cross that front of the plate, and that is when that swing is broken, and that would be counted as a strike. But in that case, keeping that bat head back, no swing, take your base. Second walk for Wirihiko this game.
Palace Potter, 2 strikeout looking in the first and the third, but they were against Brittany Terry. It's her first time seeing Lauren Parker in this match. And she dispatches a pitch, hard liner up the middle to go station to station with 2 out, the New Zealand team.
Yeah, well, like I said, you don't often keep a good batter down, and she was due for a hit and line driving that ball right up the middle, which when a ball goes up the middle, it's usually because perfect timing, that batter sees it coming in, or the ball is thrown down the middle. So well done to Pally in doing justice to that ball and putting it where it should be.
It looks like the New Zealand side are going to make a change here. A pinch hitter coming into the ball game for Tanisha Hakomo. She got hit by a pitch, remember, back in the first innings. Maybe the elbow's a little tender now. They will bring in a pinch hitter, as I mentioned. Head coach Gabriel just passing on that instruction to the home plate umpire. It looks like number 20, Otila Tavite, is going to come into the ball game.
And this is a great opportunity for her. So she's able to come into the game and make a statement saying, no, I can come off of a bench and I can still do some damage. I can still help my team out. So this will be really interesting to see how she plays this. She's had a little bit of time to sit and watch some of Lauren's pitches to see what's happening. You know, we have runners 2 out. We have runners at 1 and 2. This is a really vital situation for the White Sox and for Otila.
Big moment for the Sky Sports White Sox team. Just like that, Parker looking to defuse it, throws a change up first pitch, but right down the middle. Drop ball down low, though, in the zone. Tavite fouls that one off. She's in the hole quickly, though. 0-2. We'll just check that first pitch may have been down for a ball. I think it was. Actually, it's 1-1 the count. My apologies.
And Lauren really nailing that down and in pitch. Like we said, the importance of that earlier. It is hard for a batter to get their bat there. As you see, she had to move her feet to hit that. Going again at that spot, even with the changeup. She's just missing a bit low, but it's still a really, really good pitch. You do not want to hang a changeup because that is going to soar if the bat meets the ball. So that's still a good location, but she needs to use that now to set up her next pitch.
Slow grounder. We'll go to 3 for the forced runner there. No need to throw it. Weber is on her game defensively, and they get out of the jam to New Zealand A here in the bottom of the 5th innings. The pinch hit can't quite pay off in this situation. Boy, oh boy. Woo-wee. New Zealand A bringing their A game here against the White Sox. They lead 2-1 as we'll head into the top of the 6th inning, Jen.
Yep, Begg's still out there. She's going out to warm up, so she's in this for the game. Now, again, keeping in mind that she came in the last game to finish off the last few innings, so she's starting to get up there in her innings, and she would have come off of pitching yesterday as well. So we're going to see what sort of endurance she has, because it's a whole different kettle of fish when you're at the end of a weekend. You're seeing lots of time on that mound, so hopefully she's able to hold strong here, continue hitting her spots, being able to make that ball wiggle, and keeping her team in this game.
Beautiful day here at Rosedale Park on Auckland's North Shore, Ely Sports Stadium. Under blue skies, beautiful weather, sun's out, guns out. What a great way to start a COVID-free summer, I tell you. Sport is back, baby. Sport is back, and it's live on Sky. Brooke Whiteman, Nanaya Martangi, and Erin Blackmore. We'll go 1, 2, 3 here for New Zealand A as Amy Begg continues her innings of work. 78 pitches now. Very aggressive, though. 57 strikes, 21 balls.
Yep, and you'll see Otila entering the field for Tanisha Hokamo, over at third base. So Otila staying in the game. I laugh at Tanisha because we were talking, I'm like, I know how to say your name, but for years everyone has said Hokamo, and so it's really hard to adjust to Hokamo when I know what it should be. So we did joke. I said, you know what, I practice it, I have it down, but I guarantee you I'm going to get it wrong when I'm on the mic. But
somewhere it's going to slip. And it's, you know what, she'll be smiling too. She's playing outstanding softball. It's great to have her out there in the White Sox team, playing with the Fern and all the pride that she brings to it. She's an outstanding athlete, is Tanisha Hokamo, and we look forward to seeing many more matches with her playing out there for New Zealand. 2-1 the count on Whiteman. Line drive. Whiteman stays hot, red hot. Second hit of the ball game for her. Both of them going to left field.
yeah, well done to Brooke there, being able to put 2 hits into this game, especially being, down 7 in the lineup. So that is what is key when you're playing the next level. You are batters 1 through 9. You were able to put bat on the ball and be a threat 1 through 9. And so well done to her, getting her team going.
This one comes through the inside of the zone on Nanaya Martangi. Struck out in the second innings, but a solid drive to left field in the fourth. One up in her radar, right in the grill there. She pulls that one down foul.
Matangi here batting 4-4-4 coming into today. So, again, we were just talking about batters, down in the lineup, still putting pressure on the other team. So, awesome to see that coming through.
Little bender outside. We've got 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the great thing to see here is this group that's in the New Zealand A. They're a part of the greater White Sox squad, of course. But boy, are they putting their hands up, aren't they? That one just taken for foul territory by Tavite at third base. And come back and reset Matangi.
And that's what this opportunity is all about. So the squad is not set in stone. And so everyone is fighting for those positions. And this is a really good opportunity for all the girls to come out and play against one another and put their hand up and say, hey, no, I'm ready. I want this.
And quick call by the umpire. Is a swing and a miss. Looked like maybe a drop ball. We can't quite see it from our vantage point. You probably had a better view of it at home. But, of course, when that happens with a drop third strike with a runner at first base, the batter is still automatically out.
Yeah, when that base is occupied, that batter cannot run to first base. And that is what happened on this occasion.
X Factor now here in Blackmore. Ball out.
You hear that chopper? There's a chopper out there.
Get to the chopper, Jen. Get to the chopper. Or get to Tavita at third base. That's a fine play by the third basewoman. She throws that one over in time for the second out of the innings.
It's really good to see Otila coming into the game and making those plays. Again, it seems routine, but sometimes when you're sitting in the dugout, staying warm, keeping mentally in the game as well, so able to go out there and still do her job.
Good to see her versatility, of course. Tavite playing catcher last night. You can see her now out there being able to play in the hot corner. Nice change of pace.
Well done. And I love leadoff change-ups, especially at this point in the game as you get deep. Those batters think, okay, I know what's coming. She's starting off with this pitch, that pitch, and then you pull on the change or put the change-up out there, and you saw the result of that, guessing, pulling up, just missing.
Well, Denver Shortay, the starting shortstop for New Zealand A, has been outstanding today. A double in the first innings, may have grounded out in the second, but another strong hit ball to centre field in the fifth as well.
Called by Mum.
Called by Mum. Won't tell you what Mum called her, but she did call her for a line drive, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah, so that was good to see.
So you catch her setting up outside.
Oh, she didn't. Just checking to see if that bat had gone too far.
And that's just experience in catching and knowing what to work and how to work your umpire, because if you were set up outside and you're receiving the ball to the inside of the plate, that ball is going to look more like a strike. So it's knowing how to set up, getting the most for your pitcher.
Change of pace, and Lewin will take care of that one for the third out of the innings. More importantly, for the Sky Sports White Sox team, it's a donut up in the score column. 2-1 is the scoreline now to New Zealand A over the White Sox as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Jen, what do the White Sox need to do to get them tie this game or maybe grab the lead?
Yeah, I really think they need to come together here and just take a second to be like, all right, look, we've got 6 outs left. So we're limited in time, but that's still plenty of time to do some damage. So if we're going to execute, we need to do that now. So we need to get the lead runners on. We need to put pressure on early, and then we need to execute, whether that's moving them over via a bunt or hitting it out of the infield. But all those little things need to start falling in place.
Well, call me, I don't know, a kid, but I love the long ball. We've got Kyla Bromhead, Krista Hawani, and Lucy McIntyre. I want to see one of them go yard to tie this puppy up.
Yeah, well, that would be nice. We haven't seen any this weekend, which
No.
normally by now we do. And again, like we said, early days in the season, we haven't had a lot of softball. I would love to see this matchup come March, come the end of the season, when these girls are all in their prime, ready to go. Then I think we'd see a few long balls.
Long balls indeed. Lots of action to go here, though, as we go to the bottom of the 6 innings. And they'll send up one of their veteran players, the catcher, Connor Bromhead, to get them underway here. And sometimes that's what you need. Veteran player, veteran slugger with plenty of pop in her bat. Goes to the first pitch. It's a golf shot. Nat Blackmore, though, she ranges over to her left-hand side to make the catch at centre field. Hawani now, plenty of power as well. Little pocket rocket. She's had herself a day, a double, a single. Triple and a home run, looking for the cycle. So you can get one closer here. This one's up, first pitch as well. Blackmore's underneath it. That one's skied.
Lauren doing a really good job of throwing minimal pitches and getting results, so less that she has to throw. You know, you have some big, strong batters up, and she's making it look easy. Another thing about Lauren is when she throws the ball, she throws quite a heavy ball. And by that I mean the way it comes out of her hand and the spin of the ball, it might look like it's nice and fat and juicy, but when you hit it, it doesn't go anywhere. It's like hitting a brick. And so that is a strength of Lauren's.
Keeping the ball low, throwing bricks. Lucy McIntyre is trying to hit it over that brick wall now. Who wins the battle? Another low delivery, this one too low. McIntyre in a hitter's count, so got an opportunity, that's for sure.
Lucy, nice and relaxed, knowing that she's in the driver's seat in this at bat and in this count.
Three straight balls here. After McIntyre, we'll go to Narissa McDowell, where she was outstanding yesterday. Her contributions with the bat. So no breather here for Parker. Down Main Street, boy oh boy. I know fundamentals say you're not allowed to swing at that pitch, but isn't it tempting sometimes, Jen?
Oh, it is. And I have seen it done, and I've seen it work both ways. But I think when you're behind in the game and you're chasing, you need to be smart. And that, in this case, that was a smart decision.
Here's a line drive. This case, though, straight to Matangi at left field. Lauren Parker is putting on a masterclass today, I tell you. She did it last night. She's doing it here again today. She's kept New Zealand scoreless since she's been out there on the mound. And boy, oh boy, we've got ourselves a bit of a grandstand finish. It'll be New Zealand A looking to bank an insurance run in the top of the 7th gen when we come back.
How about the great softball this weekend, Chopper? We've had some really tight, exciting softball games.
I think it's been outstanding. I think that, as you mentioned before, at the beginning of the season, well, in some parts of the country, season hasn't even started. Auckland's an example of that. Their season proper starts next weekend. So to see this level on caliber of softball at this time of the year, we've been spoiled for sure, my friend.
Oh, exactly. And it's really good to see the girls come together, like we've been saying, and seeing Roman out there and Stan and all the coaches. And you also see Anthea Stringer. You'll see Bree Gibson as well. So you'll see coaches that are all within the development from the ground up and having everybody out watching these players, having lots of eyes. And this is going to help them by going back and reviewing their game in the future, and they're going to grow even more this season because of having this opportunity.
Well, it's a great day to be at the ballpark. You see the bouncy castles blowing up in the background. The sun is out, the music is playing. Boy, oh boy, it's great to be a Kiwi, and it's great to be here experiencing this Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series, brought to you live by Sky Sports on Channel 9, in association with Softball New Zealand. one comes down Main Street. Amy Begg has been outstanding too. 93 pitches, 67 strikes. That percentage has been really high.
Yeah, and that's really good to see because at an elite level, you need to see a lot of strikes and accuracy and hitting those spots. And so what I've seen a lot of is first pitch strikes, and I would really like to see this A team capitalize on those first pitch strikes because we've seen it done earlier, jumping early, knowing that pitch is coming in. So I would like to see the next few batters do the same.
Tennille Omatangi. Backspin, that's unfair. Omatangi will get there with an ease. Little swing, backspin cue shot back to the catcher. By the time it got to the catcher's hand, I think she'd already passed first base. That's how quick Omatangi
Exactly.
is.
Those are some really, really hard balls to field. And as a pitcher, I'm sitting there going, dive, because that's something I would have done. But that is a big ask from the pitcher. And that was just really well placed between pitcher and catcher and really good start for a leadoff batter.
I'm not even sure how to write that in my scorebook, Jen. It was a full swing that spun back to the catcher, so it's a single to the catcher?
Pretty much. That would be a really good question for the scorers. that is a hat I have not worn. So, yeah, that's funny when you put it that way.
Yeah. Rebecca Bromhead now steps in to go to work, grounded out to the third baseman, first trip in the first innings. Third innings, she had a fly ball to left field, and then a fielder's choice to the shortstop in the fifth. On the back end of this one, though, I think the wind will get it. Nope, no chance for the wind because Krista Winey's out there, makes a fine catch in foul territory.
Yeah, that ball's staying in the field, so Krista able to run in and grab that. That's a big out. So even though it's not in play, that is one out to put on that scoreboard and get out of this inning.
Hope Weber now, we saw her explosive power back in the fifth innings. Drove in two with a double to center left field gap.
All right, so her hit earlier was off of an outside pitch, so we're trying to mix it up, going inside. Good to see that we are having a different plan of attack. So we'll see if we stay on the inside and mix up maybe a few change-ups. So see what the approach is now with Hope.
Dead right, that hit was actually centered right. That power double. Pitcher's pitch for Big on the outside there. Levels the count, 1-1.
And it's very rare that you see power going opposite field. It doesn't happen a lot. Normally it's a ground ball. It can be a hard shot, but not power in the air. And that is exactly what Weber got. So it was off just right to center field, but still to hit to that side is hard to do it in the air for that hard.
Weber steps back in to go to work. Big with the 1-2. Just missing outside, levels the count now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Change up. Weber dispatches that foul down the left field line. Omatangi with 1 out, still at first base. She is a threat to run. When the head coach, Diney, decides, giving the signal now.
This is a situation where I would really like to see Tennille being aggressive, taking big leads, really putting pressure.
This one fouls back.
Just looking over at the on-deck circle, and it looks like we have Ashley Scott on deck swinging the bat, perhaps coming in.
Yeah, pinch hitter. We'll find out when we get to the next spot. Was marshaled by Pearl Marley Waitford. Ground out a fly out, a strikeout today, so maybe. Spinner. That won't come back though.
Those ones we keep talking about. You got to be careful, and in that case, that was spinning like it could come back, but it just found a nice little hole and stayed there. In this case,
it looks like me in a defensive line in a Masters Rugby League field, spinning around as the guys run past me. Thank God, in this case, it didn't go fair. This one fouls back onto the roof of the stadium. Good battle ensuing here between Big and Weber.
and this is big because Begg does not want to give up any more runs if she's going to give her team the best chance possible to come back here. So she needs to shut it down.
Hard hit ball through the 5-6 hole. Weber stays red hot here for the New Zealand A side, and have a listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. That's the 10th hit of the ball game for the New Zealand A side. Oh boy, I don't know what they had for breakfast or for brunch, or was it Takapuna or Browns Bay, but whatever it was, they want to do that every time when they come to the ballpark.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, going out and being aggressive and just making that defense work. Sometimes it's just putting that ball hard into the field and making that defense do their job, because we see there's lots of, things that can go wrong, whether it's the wind taking a ball a different direction, whether it's hitting a rock and bouncing over a fielder's shoulder. So you never know. You always play it out, but if you hit hard, you're in a better situation.
We see you got it right. Pinch hitter coming into the ball game, number 5. Ashley Scott will hit for Waitford here in the 5 hole. 2 runners on, only the 1 out, Jen. Big at bat time for Scott.
Yep. And this will be good. Scott not seeing a lot of Amy Begg before, so we'll see how she's able to zone in and figure out what Amy's throwing. So she should have been sitting in the dugout, either talking to teammates coming in who have already had at-bats, or just watching what is she going to, what sort of pitches is she throwing in different points of the at-bat.
Just a little light on that lifter from Big. Scott just spoils that one at the bottom of the zone.
Really like seeing Amy going up and down here, working that zone, because a pitch moving upwards or downwards, it's harder to make an adjustment as a batter. If it's moving towards or away from you, you can still throw your bat out and make that adjustment. So up and down and change are your best pitchers in the world.
Inside, fouls it back. And you see Big just kind of shake her head after that delivery. And I think part of that, Jen, haven't seen a huge percentage or any real percentage of swing and misses here from Big in this work in this match. New Zealand A have really made contact, whether it's towards the field with those 10 hits or back and foul and spoiling them off.
Yeah, really well done.
Weak ground ball. Big knows this one, makes the throw to 3 to get the lead runner.
That is a heads-up play by Amy, being able to field that ball, get her body into position, turn and make a good throw over to third base to get that lead runner. So well done to get that second out. But Emma Francis coming up, runners on 1 and 2. We've seen Emma taking some big cuts, some good hits, line drive over to center field earlier. So game's not over yet.
No, indeed. 1 from 3 in the day is Emma Francis. Amy Begg, though, 112 pitches, so no wonder that throw to 3 was a little difficult. 81 strikes, 31 balls. Good delivery from Begg. She just pumps it through the bottom of the zone.
Watching up here, I can really see that kick on that curveball. It's really nice to see. The batter's not quite chasing, and I think once she develops that pitch and gets maybe it to break a little bit later, I think you will start to see batters swinging and missing and chasing. So again, early days, once she gets that to come right, it'll be good to see that pitch progress throughout the season.
Inside on the hands of Francis, goes back to the screen.
Another thing I would really like to see from Amy, if we can get a little bit more speed on her, because she does have some good pitches, some good breaking to her pitches. And when you add speed to that, it gives that batter a little less time to react. And that's when you start to see the swinging and the missing, is when you take away that reaction time. So I think just getting a little bit more drive out of those legs, a little bit more power, and we can see that from Begg.
Catcher on the outside edge, she does. Amy Begg saves one of her good ones to the end there, and that she has been good on the outside edge, freezing batters or catching them unawares. She saves a good one there to get fast and sit her down on strikes. But more importantly, making sure that New Zealand A don't add to this lead. Well, as they say, it comes down to the wires. You'll see the strikeout pitch here, Jen. It's up to the White Sox now, the home team batting in the bottom of the 7th with everything on the line. Need 1 run to tie it, 2 to win it. Can they do it?
Well, you couldn't ask for more as far as excitement in a close ball game. Same thing we had last night. We've had some really good softball, but the White Sox here really wanting to go home with a good win under their belt. And, you know, the A side, awesome, stepping up, able to show, you know, everyone, hey, we're still here to play. But the White Sox really needing to capitalize. So they're at their number 8 batter. So you have some speed. So you have Narissa, then you have Michaela Lewin, and then top of the order with Mariana Makia. So, hey, pressure, you know, we said you're feeling pressure, you're applying pressure. Now's the time where the White Sox, instead of feeling it, they need to start applying it.
Well, 2 of their 4 hits for the White Sox came through the top of their order. 1 to Wirihiko and 1 to Potter. They get a long way to get down to Krista Hawani. She's got 2 by herself today. So if they get to her, then I think they've got a real good chance. So there'll be a lot of batters by then. But you're dead right. The tail needs to wag. And then the top of the order just need to get her done.
And one thing to keep in mind, your top batter is sitting on the bench. You have Lara Andrews, who's not in this game, and she was batting 600 going into today. So that's 1 stick you've taken out of the lineup. So it's time for these other players to step up and be like, I got you, Lara. I know you're not in, but, you know, we can do it too. I
got you. That's what they're going to say here. The White Sox with their bats this time. Let the bats do the talking. Narissa Dowd goes first, and she speaks loudly. She drives 1 to centre field for a solid single.
McDowell doing a really good job of doing her job. I know it sounds a bit silly, but she's been able to get on base. She's been able to be a leadoff batter and put herself in a position to help out her team. So she's done an excellent job in doing the little things right.
Michaela Lewin now. Sacrifice fly in the 2nd and grounded out to the 2nd base in the 5th innings. Her 3rd trip. Sacrifice bunt down, just goes foul. They'll come back and reset. McDowell from first base was off and running.
So that's what we would call a sacrifice bunt. So that batter is putting that bat out. They're putting themselves on the line so they can move that runner into a scoring position. So the likelihood of them making the out at first, that is why she's sacrificing herself. But in this case, it didn't pan out. Would have liked to see her hands over the plate a little bit more to get that ball into fair territory.
Throws on double play ball. 1, 2. New Zealand A. They have done it again. New Zealand A are outstanding. What a fantastic double play from them. Simply outstanding from the 3rd base to 2nd to 1st. That's an unusual double play, especially so far down the line.
Yeah, well executed, well done. Heads up, knowing that she can make that play. Hope Weber able to turn that, receiving it, turning quickly, going to 1. They have put themselves in a really good position now.
Pitcher's best friend, the double play. Lauren Parker, very happy with that. Miriam Markia now. Walk, strikeout, fly to left field.
And as we spoke about last night, is you don't want to be the last out of the game. You want to keep your team alive. So this is where the White Sox really have to scrap and find a way to get on base.
Ball is low. New Zealand A have not lost a match here this weekend. Picked up 2 wins against the juniors on day 1 back on Saturday. And then picked up the win against the Sky Sport White Sox team in a 2-1 affair last night. They can win this one. They go through undefeated and win the series. Off the leg. Ricochets the right way, though. Sometimes it just falls your way. And it's Lauren Parker last night, and it's Lauren Parker today. An outstanding effort from the young pitcher from Otahuhu. It's New Zealand A. Historically last night, 2-1. Historically today, 2-1 again. They win the match, Jen. Wow, oh wow.
How about that? And I know Lauren taking that one off the leg, she will happily do so, knowing that that was the end of the game, able to close the deal for their team. So awesome job to New Zealand A coming out and saying, hey, we're the A team. We're here to challenge. We are in this.
Here comes the assist from Lauren Parker. Oh no, that's the double play ball, of course. A long way to make that first throw. Transition was good. That is exceptional. Here comes the ricochet. How about I just kick it to first? And unfortunately for Miriam Mamaki, a very good contact, but today just not her day. Jen, your thoughts on the match?
Hey, look, I think at the end of the day, Roman's going to be really happy because he has a lot of talent to choose from, looking ahead, moving forward. You know, everyone putting up their hands saying, this is it. They're challenging each other. They're doing the work. They're coming from behind, you know, back and forth. We're able to see a lot of really good quality softball here. So if I was Roman Gabriel, I'd be stoked to see what I have to work with.
Well, especially when you look down the lineup for New Zealand A, Shaw Tate with 2 hits today, Hope Weber with 2 hits today, Brooke Whiteman with 2 hits today. There's a lot of ladies putting their hands up, isn't there?
Yeah, it's very exciting. Like I said, just the opportunity to be able to do this heading into the future. It's going to be those, you know, small baby steps, and we have a lot of time to prepare as a White Sox squad. So this is exciting to see where we're going to be down the track.
Oh, well, fantastic, Jen. Look, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for watching here from LE Sports Stadium. The matches this weekend that completes Softball New Zealand's presentation of the Sky Sports White Sox Tri-Series here on Sky Sport 9. On behalf of the whole crew at Ballpark Broadcasting, Dean Pooley, Stream Shop, Jennifer Ferret-Beer, I'm Jason Goose, a.k.a. Chopper. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you all next time.